Welcome into the sixth man, Chris Draper, Brandon Burnett, and we're back, man. It's after week 4. We got the biggest matchup in high school football going down this weekend for our BTW 21 game of the week, and it's Magna Vista versus Martinsville. Without any further ado, we'll just get into it. Listen, Magna Vista coming off a loss to William Byrd last week, 21-7. Chris Scales gets hurt at the end of the game. No Cameron Page, a couple of injuries here and there. We talked with Coach Rivero. That'll be on our news this evening, possibly. Also with Coach Gilbert as well. And when you think about Martinsville, they played Dan River, and we said if they competed, which the score was 24-10, we said if they competed against Dan River, which turnovers were their claim to fame in that game, we said if they competed, that it could be a pretty good matchup against Magna Vista this Friday. So let me give you a little history. Let me educate the viewers at home on this matchup. Let me educate the people on Facebook Live for those that think Martinsville is the top dog in this situation. Well, when most of the people who are watching this show grew up, Martinsville was the top dog. But since 1999, for most of the players that are playing in this game, probably since they were born, 96, 99, something like that, Magna Vista has run the show. I'm talking about Martinsville has only won 5 times since 99.
12 out of 17.
Whether it be 99, 01, 06, 07, and 08. Probably when one of my boys like Snoop was playing, Tracy, Arthur, couple of guys like that when they were playing, man. Ashmon, a couple other guys, Shaquan Beamer. I'm naming a couple, Rashe Waller, dating back a little bit further. People like that. I mean, Alexei Harrison, BJ, BJ Jumper. I mean, we could go on and on. Quentin Preston, AJ Watkins. We could go with Eric Spencer. I mean, I can keep it moving. I got a lot on it. But what I'm saying is Magna Vista owns the matchup. Matt Duffy too. We'll talk about Matt Brown. I'm telling you. But Magna Vista.
You sound like me talking about Carolina basketball.
Hold on, it is like that. It's like Carolina and UNC. Even with Shalom McGuire, Jock Harrison, even with Jay Dandridge last year, Ty Carter. You got a new kind of lineup with Aaron Harrison, who is Monkman's son for everybody that knows in the area. And then you have E.J. Bratcher, you have Xanthus Harrison, you have Decene Harrison. You have those guys, and you got Magna Vista.
A lot of Harrisons.
Exactly. You got Jason Scales, you got Chris Scales, who hopefully will be able to play on Friday.
Austin Perkins.
You got Austin Perkins, you got Kayshawn Kellum, you got who else? C.J. Hughes.
It's a lot of people out there.
I mean, I'm just saying the stars. You got Randolph on defense. You got Cameron Penn. You got Tristan Dillon, wide receiver. So that's just some of the players that you're going to be seeing in this matchup, man.
This is the first time in a long time, and I mentioned this right before we came on the air.
Yeah.
This is the first time in a long time this matchup has really meant something.
45-6 last year.
Yeah, I mean, it was an absolute destruction last year. It was an ugly game. A lot of penalties.
Martinsville scored at the end.
Yeah, there's a lot of penalties in that game, too, because that these two teams, they know each other pretty well. These guys have been playing against each other their whole lives.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you how big this matchup is. A lot of the kids follow me on Twitter. They have blown up my Twitter feed. They have retweeted me at least 45 times every time I've tweeted something about Martinsville, Magna Vista.
Yeah, your tweets are pretty
and that's a couple questions I'll ask a couple of the coaches. How do you keep, your players off social media?
Yeah, well, see, that's the thing. That's a double-edged sword with the social media. Sometimes people get on social media and talk too much stuff.
I'm just saying, not a lot of the Magna Vista, they've retweeted. They haven't talked too much trash. A little more Martinsville, but you could expect as much, especially out of Monkman's son. Monkman being one of the biggest talkers around here. I can say that because me and Monkman are friends. A lot of people can't say that with Monkman, trust me. But with that being said, I'm just saying this is a big matchup. We're finally going to get a matchup we deserve. After so many years between Martinsville and Magna Vista, the last time this was even a remotely good matchup was possibly 08.
That was the last time they beat them.
Exactly. That was Coach Favero's first year. He inherited those kids. After that, they just went on a string of dominance where they've been 7-0 against Magna Vista in his tenure.
Yeah, and the thing is, the last 2 matchups were absolute skunk fest.
Absurd.
Yeah,
lopsided.
Just skunk fest. And you have to remember, Magna Vista won the state title last 2 years. Martinsville's
been to the playoffs the last 2 years, but they've been a bottom seed where they've gotten knocked out first round.
And if they can win this game, They can be a
Listen,
top seed.
I'm telling you right now, Martinsville is already, if you're looking at VHSL reference, they're already in the top 10 in 2A teams.
Yeah,
if you're looking
3-1.
at with their record, they're already in the top 10. So Orion Martin and company can expect, if they keep this going, to get a great seeding. But what I'm saying, let's just get right into the matchup, man, without further ado. This matchup, Martinsville, Orion Martin and company, they run basically a full house backfield. It's kind of matchup that they run against that Magna Vista defense, so we're going to see them go head up against that front seven. They use E.J. Bratcher. He's a tight end. Aaron Martin can drop back and pass. Not as fast as, Jay Dandridge, but a little more cerebral. He's still elusive, and he's still a great quarterback. But you can also put Xanthus in. Xanthus is a running back as far as Decene Harrison is a running back. So you have that offense that has been.
You have some really good running backs or running quarterbacks, too.
Possibly the best backfield in the Piedmont District. We haven't seen anything out of GW just yet with Kayshawn Forrest. And we've seen Magna Vista with Zakiel Mitchell. But we've seen Magna Vista with Kendall Rupert and Chris Scales.
I was really impressed with Kendall Rupert.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I was very impressed with him. This is the first time we have seen Martinsville play since we saw him play Bassett last year. That was, I think, the second to last game we had last year in the regular season. And the last time we saw them, they looked pretty impressive.
Well, Martinsville has been pretty impressive.
Yes,
with that full house backfield. Xanthus Harrison has been all over the Martinsville bulletin. Him, Aaron Harrison. Aaron Martin, Aaron Martin, and then you have Decene Harrison as well. They've been pretty impressive, man, racking up yards because you've had their yardage every week. But they're going up against a front seven in Jason Scales, Cameron Page, C.J. Hughes. If Chris Scales can play, you got the secondary. He's heading it off with Randolph.
Is there any chance that he might play, Chris Scales?
I'm hearing there might be a chance he might play. But we don't know for sure. His status is unsure. It's questionable.
They're going to have to tape him up like a mummy.
Exactly. His status is questionable. We hope he's okay. Prayers up for Chris. Chris built for tough Scales. It's what we've nicknamed him here. But listen, so that's tough for anybody to go up against.
Yes.
That is tough for any. And we've seen them. We've seen Jason Scales come off that edge, help shut down a lot of teams.
The thing is, that defensive line is going to be stinging a little bit.
Yeah.
You have to remember, last week they got punched in the mouth by Larry Basham.
Yeah.
And Larry Basham is probably one of the best running backs in this region.
Well, it's hard to stop that Magna Vista offense anyway. Let's just be honest.
That Magna Vista offense still
now, Larry Basham and company, they're a 4A competitive squad that might compete for a state championship this year. However, in that game alone, Chris Scales gets hurt. You also have them, I think they threw an interception as well, or it was a turnover.
They turned over on downs a lot.
They turned over on downs about 3 times. They were within the red zone 4 times, just like when they played Jefferson Forest last year, but they could not score. So it's hard to stop them. But once it gets closer, the field kind of shortens.
It shrinks.
It shrinks.
It shrinks big time. And the thing is, with this matchup, Martinsville 3-1. Magna Vista 1-2.
Magna Vista needs to win desperately.
If Magna Vista loses,
it's a possibility. I won't say they're out of playoff contention, but I'll say it's a little bit close. But we've seen losing teams make it in 3A as well, so I won't say they're out of playoff contention.
If they were in 4A, I'd say it was that you could put a 4 count.
Yeah, they're definitely out of the rankings regardless, though. Let's just be honest. I've seen the rankings. Magna Vista's out of the top 10 in 3A with a 1-2 record.
And the 2 losses they've had, they've lost by 2 scores.
And they've lost to big-time opponents. Dan River being a state championship candidate, and also William Byrd being a state championship candidate as well. So you got that with Magna Vista, but you can't discredit Martinsville.
No.
They've lost to a 2A state championship candidate and put forth a good score.
On the road.
For turnovers,
on the road.
They might have could have won that game. Yep. So with that being said, Martinsville is nothing to slouch at this week anymore. So I'm thinking Martinsville could come out. 7 losses straight, man. It's got to turn soon. So is Orion Martin and company going to get the win? I know the players are hyped. I know everybody will be at the game. I know it will be packed out, sold out, tough crowd at the doghouse.
We're going to have to get there early.
We're going to have to get there early, definitely. I can't wait for the matchup, man. I'm just saying. And then you have, let's talk about Martinsville's defense. Martinsville's defense has done a fairly good job as well, creating turnovers, scoring off turnovers as well, doing their job. But that Magna Vista offense, we've seen when it's come to play, it can put up 30 at any time.
They put up 36 against Jefferson Forest. And Jefferson Forest,
had his woes.
Yeah, they're having their woes right now.
Still a good team.
They still
just
are
undisciplined.
Yes.
Just undisciplined. But Magna Vista. Got Austin Perkins, Kendall Rupert, hopefully Chris Scales.
Yeah, hopefully.
You got a great wide receiving core.
Oh, yeah.
That can
their
flat out,
receiving core
that
has gotten better.
speed.
Their receiving core has
that
gotten
has
better.
speed.
Yeah.
And Austin Perkins, probably the most dynamic, if not for Dylan McKinney, probably the most dynamic quarterback in the Piedmont District other than Branch and Dylan McKinney. Breaks out of the pocket. He can either run for 10 or run for 20 or he can throw for 30. So which one? I'm just saying. And then you got the Martinsville defense. And a lot of those Martinsville guys, they play both ways.
They do.
So you'll still have a lot of those guys that we talked about on offense on defense. We haven't seen much. I think I'll go with the Magna Vista offense over the Martinsville defense.
Well,
it's going to be a close game.
The thing is, I think it's going to be a close game, too.
Yeah.
It will not be 45-6 like it was last time.
Oh, no.
And the thing is, with this matchup, I do believe Magna Vista's offense will have the edge over the defense. One reason why I think it's going to be a war of attrition. I think it's going to come down to Martinsville starts getting tired in the second half. That defense starts getting tired. Magna Vista might feast.
We shall see.
Yes.
But it's a big-time matchup, and Coach Rivero is 7-0 in the last 7 years, other than his first year there.
7-1.
7-1 against Martinsville so far. Orion Martin looking for his first win against Magna Vista. It's going to be tough, man. We're going to be there. That is our BTW 21 game of the week. We expect it to be live and hype, and trust me, if you're looking at any of the votes on my Twitter, I put out a poll, I put it out on Facebook, but Magna Vista, everybody seems to think Magna Vista is going to win that game. We'll give our predictions at the end of the show, but everybody seems to think Magna Vista is going to win that game. But listen, we'll be right back. We'll talk about, will Bassett get its first win of the season as they travel to Halifax, or will they lose again? We'll be right back with more of the Sixth Man.
Auto Rehab in Stanleytown. Dependable and trustworthy. Auto Rehab, your area's certified auto repair shop. Using state-of-the-art equipment for all your transmission and engine needs. From the simple oil change, tune-ups, to diesel repair for all makes and models. Auto Rehab is your local, dependable repair shop. Located behind Stanleytown Elementary School. Just follow the signs to Auto Rehab.
Hey guys, it's Ashley and Travis here again at Everything Outdoors to remind you that fall is right around the corner. Now is the time to schedule your appointment for lawn seeding and aerating. Fall is also prime time to plant your trees and shrubs. Less time watering means more time out there enjoying those cooler days. Does your lawn need a little makeover but you're not sure where to start? Take some photos and bring them down. Let us help you design the landscape that not only looks beautiful but will work well with your space. Here at the nursery, Mom's pansies and fall vegetables are growing and will be ready just in time as the summer winds down. Call or stop by and see us at
Your local news is brought to you in part by Radial. For more career opportunities in Martinsville, visit radial.com.
The Smith River Sports Complex has the entire sports community talking.
Facilities are fantastic. I mean, no matter where you go in the country, you won't find as good of facilities as we got here in Martinsville.
Everyone is just so friendly and wants us to have a good time here.
I've never been on the field this great.
We run the Cardinal Cup lacrosse tournament here, and we absolutely love the venue. The fields are great, the amenities are great, the concessions.
Martinsville Family Dentistry would like to invite you to experience Zoom. Zoom is a customized whitening experience that's created to make you look your best, give you dynamic results with a whiter, brighter smile in less than an hour. Over 10 million people have benefited from Zoom professional whitening treatment and have experienced the way a radiant smile can improve their self-confidence and their overall happiness. Patients have reported 5 to 8 shades whiter smile in just an hour. Martinsville Family Dentistry is taking new patients, so stop our office at 25 Cleveland Avenue, Suite A in Martinsville.
We're back with more Six Man. If you just missed our first segment on Martinsville and Magna Vista, we'll have this on YouTube a little bit later, thanks to Douglas Hubbard, our producer, as well. We also have it running on Facebook Live as well. If you tune in to TV, a little bit more in-depth look, you get a little bit more behind the scenes. But with that being said, we'll leave most of the matchup for a little bit of the sports reporting I'll do later, and also for it on Friday. So we'll leave it for you guys to talk about. Follow our Twitter. Follow my Twitter handle at IWon'tStop13, and follow Brandon Burnett's at UNCBB78. I was about to say 76. It's terrible. I follow him, but I only have to put in like one letter,
and it pops
then
up.
It pops on up, so it doesn't even matter. But with that being said, man, we do have to talk about Bassett and their woes upcoming. I just recently did an interview with Coach Gilbert. And to be honest with you, if you look at Bassett's schedule, they're not pulling any punches. I mean, they played Pulaski and Lower Botetourt, which are the number 1 and number 2 teams in the Times Land, to be exact. So that's not pulling any punches. That is the number 1 and number 2 teams that you just played. And against Pulaski, you showed some bright spots, especially in the first half, but you couldn't get it going in the second. And that's
they couldn't get off the field.
Yeah.
They couldn't get off the field defensively.
Yeah.
That was the key of the game. They were able to score, but they weren't able to get off the field.
I think that's been Bassett's problem for the last couple of years. They've been able to score as the offense has gotten out in space, especially when you have, and I'll go ahead and say it, almost one of the best duos and possibly top 3 duos in the Piedmont District in Dylan McKinney and Justin Taylor.
He had 3 touchdowns.
They went to him all night, and if you one-on-one with Justin Taylor, you're in for it because the height advantage, the athletic ability, and the speed all together make for a great wide receiver. And one-on-one, he ate that cornerback alive.
Well, I mean, he has 6 touchdowns already this year. Justin Taylor does. He had 3 touchdowns in that game.
He has the most touchdowns of any wide receiver probably in the Piedmont District, let alone he has the most touchdowns for the Bassett team in general. He is the go-to guy. If you find him one-on-one, you can pretty much go to it and you can count it. It's like A.J. Green versus Darrell Revis. It's over. Straight. So
Revis Peninsula.
It's Revis Peninsula. and listen, you don't want any problems. Am I saying he's Antonio Brown of the PD? No, I'm not saying, but he might be A.J. Green of the PD. So, and that's a top 5 wide receiver.
He looks amazing. I mean, they were scored these plays on these long, like 4th down and like 20-something, and then like a 3rd down, long plays. It looked like Madden, where you just throw the ball up in the end zone.
You give Dylan McKinney enough time to break out of the pocket, see over the field without having to worry under duress, and I guarantee he can throw it for a long one.
See, that's also his problem. He has he has to run for his life all the time.
All the time, man. That line has to do better at creating holes and giving Dylan a little more time to do his best Russell Wilson or Ben Roethlisberger impression.
And the thing is also, there's one thing that I have to mention about that game that we saw against Pulaski. What also hurt them is they had 9 false start penalties.
Yeah.
9.
They had 9 false start penalties, but Bassett will get a chance to get a win on the season as they play Halifax, who is 1-3. Bassett being 0-3, looking for its first win of the season.
It's their first road game.
It's going to be important on the road, man. That's definitely important for them to get it. But, another subject I want to bring up. We talk about the PD. We talk about how it is, man. So, when you're talking about quarterbacks and wide receivers, you have to probably talk about Dylan McKinney and Justin Taylor. And then you have to talk about, we don't really know who Austin McKinney's go-to wide receiver is, whether it be Tristan Dillard, Cameron Penn, or Kayshawn Kellum.
It could be either one of those.
It could be Austin Perkins. It really doesn't matter. It could be either one. But what's the best 1-2 punch in the Piedmont District so far? You might have to give it to Martinsville. The best 1-2 punch might be a little bit of Aaron Martin and Xanthus Harrison.
The thing that's funny is I think we're going to find out what the best 1-2 punch is on Friday.
Is it Austin Perkins and Chris Scales?
Yeah, we're going to find out a lot.
Is it Dylan McKinney and Justin Taylor, regardless of their record, that they're able to score and they've played a tough schedule?
A lot of questions coming in.
Is it Sam Branch and Kayshawn Forrest at GW? Do I have to even mention anybody at Tunstall and Petra County at this point? I mean, we'll start mentioning them, but until they, and I know we talk Bassett, but we've done a lot of Bassett games. Tunstall's 2-2 as well. So they did beat Chatham?
Yes.
So ABC had it wrong on the score?
Yeah, they fixed it right afterwards.
Okay, so.
Yeah, I didn't think that they lost 11 points at the halftime.
You know, if you're giving me that, I'm going to go ahead and say that Tunstall has moved up, and they're past Magna Vista. They're 2-2, Magna Vista being 1-2, and Franklin County being 2-2. So, you know, even though we feel like this game is for control of the Piedmont District, it really isn't. But it is as far as how the teams play, because both their schedules have been a little bit different. But listen, if you're in the area, there's no other game you'd rather be at.
Yeah, because, I mean, really, it's the only game in the area this week.
It is, but rightfully so. Rightfully so.
Yeah, in this area, because Bassett's on the road.
Yeah.
They're at Halifax.
Yeah. But listen, rightfully so, though.
Yeah,
rightfully so.
It is the game. It's probably going to be one of the biggest games that we do this year.
Yeah.
Of course, I think Magna Vista GW is going to be a big game too. That always is a big game. But
that's a big game at the end of the season. But this is the first time where that Piedmont District matchup, that original Piedmont District matchup between Martinsville and Magna Vista, actually has a little more weight to it. Yeah, both teams are different classifications. Martinsville being 2A, Magna Vista being 3A. Mm-hmm. But I mean, it has certain repercussions as far as classifications are concerned. You know, Magna Vista needs to win against Martinsville. I think even more so for confidence, playoff position. They don't need to lose any more games if they're trying to get any good playoff position, if they're trying to get within that top 3. Lower Botetourt is undefeated. Phoebus is undefeated. You have certain teams that are going to remain possibly undefeated or one loss. So Magna Vista needs to get through their schedule without any losses.
And Magna Vista can win this game. They'll be 2-2.
Exactly.
Then they'll have 6 games remaining. All 6 of the games remaining
definitely wins, we think.
Are wins. Are a possible wins.
Barring any injuries or anything happening to Magna Vista. That's just how the run of the district will go.
Well, it's fun.
I do think, depending on how this game goes, the Magna Vista-Martinsville game, I also think, honestly, that let's say Martinsville does beat Magna Vista. I think it creates a lot more parity within the Piedmont District. And also, I think that Bassett could stand a chance to, you know, waver against any of these teams because of what we've seen out of their offense. Not necessarily their defense, but it could waver. It could see, because Bassett has played a ridiculous schedule.
Oh, I know.
You know, I think they have the hardest schedule of anybody so far.
Oh, yeah. When you play against your first 3 games or against, was it Blacksburg or Christiansburg was the first game?
Well, you got, at first you had Blacksburg, it's Blacksburg, Christiansburg, Pulaski, Lower Botetourt, even with the scrimmage at the beginning of the season.
That's a tough 4 games right there.
You just played everybody basically out the River Ridge District except for Salem that's going to be competing, or Amherst or somebody like that. And I'm telling you, man, it's tough.
That is a tough opening schedule.
You played state championship contenders 1 or 2 times last year.
Even though all 3 of those games were at home, those are some tough home games.
Exactly. I mean, if you're Martinsville, you know, you played a nice schedule coming up. But really, did you play anybody at first other than Dan River? Not in my opinion.
Well,
you can only play you got on schedule, but still.
And the thing is, yeah, you play who you got on your schedule. And the thing is, they also started the season out 3-0 for the first time since 2001.
Yeah,
15 years.
It's been 15 years.
And also, they won on the road in overtime. When was the last time you can remember they went on the road in overtime?
Yeah, and then you got to think about this with Magna Vista. Martinsville still has a lot of their players that they had last year, even coming up and more so. They got young talent coming up. Magna Vista lost how many seniors?
They lost a lot.
They lost how many seniors? So am I discrediting nothing? But there are certain factors that go into everything that people have not watched. Different matchups, whether it be the spread that Magna Vista runs or the full house that Martinsville runs. So I'm just saying, against the full house, I'll take the front 7 of Magna Vista. And for my first prediction, I'm going Magna Vista to get the win. Magna Vista gets the win in a tough matchup at the doghouse. It's tight, 2-touchdown win.
I actually think it's going to be a close game, too. I am going to pick that Magna Vista is going to win by 10.
Magna Vista wins by 10. For our other district matchups, we have, let's say, we have Franklin County at GW. I'm picking GW. That's a no-brainer in my opinion. You also have...
Franklin County did get their first win recently.
They did. No, they have 2 wins. They got the win at the beginning of the season. They're 2-2.
That's true.
They got the win at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, I'm thinking about
Liberty, remember?
Yeah, that's right.
Also, you have Tunstall against hosting Patrick County. I'm going to go with Tunstall here.
Yeah, it would be crazy to think that Tunstall wasn't really picked to do much. If they win that game, they'll be 3-2.
You got Halifax hosting Bassett as well. So a lot of Piedmont district action, but a lot of away action.
A lot of away games.
A lot of away games. So with that being said, I'm going to pick Bassett to get their first win of the season.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know much about Halifax.
Exactly, and that's our fault. We need to do a better research job on Halifax.
I don't know much about Halifax. I don't even think are we even going to see Halifax this year?
It's a possibility we might not see Halifax.
weekend.
All right, but with that being said, our producer has just told us, hey, man, we don't have that much time left. I mean, we've been talking nothing but Magna Vista and Martinsville. We'll have a lot more coverage on it this week. That is our BTW 21 game of the week. Those are your predictions for this Friday.
Oh, yeah,
man.
I'm picking Bassett, by the way.
Exactly. I gotta go off to interview Martinsville. He might not want to interview me after what I said. I gave him a lot of credit, though. I mean, I'm just saying. But, hey, we got to interview Coach Martin, man, right after this. Brandon Burnett, Chris Draper. This is the 6th, man. Stay tuned in for more of your Piedmont District high school football coverage. And just next week, we might have some tech coverage because I might be interviewing Norm Wood live on air. So with that being said, man, thank you guys for tuning in. Facebook Live and BTW 21. Good day and God bless.
Loan specialist. Usually that's someone who fights for your signature then sells your loan to Never Never Land, never to speak with you again. At Martinsville First Savings Bank, we don't sell our loans, and we're locally owned and operated, so all decisions are made at 25 West Church Street in Uptown Martinsville. We've been serving the South Side since 1924. Proof that serving you remains our focus. For more information, call 276-638-8771 or visit martinsvillefirst.com. FDIC insured, equal housing lender.
At Memorial Hospital of Martinsville in Henry County, we understand the power of home. Knowing that Memorial Hospital brings the latest technology and the best medical professionals together for you, our families, friends, and neighbors, right here in Martinsville, is sometimes the best medicine. When you need cardiac care, time is critical. Our expert cardiologists are just moments away, meaning better outcomes for you and your heart. The best in care, the closeness of family and friends. That's the power of home.
The Cooper Tire Take the Money and Ride event is back this fall. Whether you're ready for a tailgate or to take a scenic drive, we can get you those tires. And also get a reward for up to $70 rebate on a purchase of a new set of qualifying Cooper tires. It's the perfect way to get your car ready for the season and score up to $70 prepaid card by mail. Quick Lube, serving you with 2 locations, Martinsville and Ridgeway.
Sign up for pharmacy text alerts today. It's a simple, easy way to refill your prescription. Simply go online and register at www.refillrx.com or download the app to your smartphone. Getting your prescriptions just got easier at Family Pharmacy in Stanleytown, serving our community since 1996.
If you're on the fence about making end-of-summer travel plans, remember this. Before it can be your favorite place, it might be a place you've never been. So get out there and explore. And to help you make a new favorite memory this summer, from August 24th to September the 18th, you can get a $70 reward card after submission with the purchase of 4 new Michelin passenger and light truck tires. Cunningham Tire, serving you in 3 locations, Bassett, Danville, and Eden. Come on by, Cunningham Tire. We'll keep you rolling.
I am Autos by Nelson.
I am Autos by Nelson.
I am Autos by Nelson.
I'm Autos by Nelson.
I am 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 Autos by Nelson.
Over 400 employees serving Martinsville and Henry County over 40 years.
We are Autos by Nelson.
Auto Rehab in Stanleytown. Dependable and trustworthy. Auto Rehab, your area's certified auto repair shop. Using state-of-the-art equipment for all your transmission and engine needs. From the simple oil change, tune-ups, to diesel repair for all makes and models. Auto Rehab is your local, dependable repair shop. Located behind Stanleytown Elementary School. Just follow the signs to Auto Rehab.